I still remember the first time I met him. It was late one evening, the kind of evening when the streets were quiet and the wind seemed to whisper through the trees as if carrying secrets only a few were meant to hear. I was walking home after a long and exhausting day, my head heavy with thoughts, when I saw him. A dog, thin to the bone, ribs pressing against his skin, eyes so hollow that they seemed to carry a lifetime of hunger and despair. He was digging through a pile of garbage, searching desperately for scraps of food, the kind of food most of us would have thrown away without a second thought. I stopped in my tracks. For a moment, our eyes met. I don't know how to explain it, but there was something in those eyes, something more than hunger. It was as though he was silently asking for more than just food. He was asking for acknowledgement, for someone to see him, for someone to care. I didn't have much with me, just a sandwich I had saved from earlier in the day. It wasn't much, but I couldn't just walk away. Slowly, I unwrapped it and crouched down, holding it out toward him. He hesitated, his body trembling, his tail tucked between his legs. I could see fear in his eyes, the kind of fear that comes from being ignored, beaten down, and left to fend for yourself too many times. But hunger is stronger than fear. Step by step, he inched closer until finally he snatched the sandwich from my hand and devoured it in seconds. I could almost feel his relief with each bite, as though for that brief moment, his pain had subsided. And yet, I knew that one sandwich wasn't enough to fill the emptiness he carried not just in his stomach but in his soul. I walked away that night with his eyes burned into my memory. I couldn't stop thinking about him. That hollow look haunted me as I lay in bed, as I went to work, as I tried to go about my daily life. There was something about that dog that stirred something deep inside me, something I didn't even know had been missing. The next evening, I returned to that same street, this time carrying a small bag of food, and there he was, almost as if he had been waiting for me. His tail wagged faintly when he saw me, though his movements were still cautious. I placed the food down and stepped back. Again, he ate like he hadn't seen food in days. This became a routine. Every night after work, I would bring him something to eat, and every night, he grew a little less afraid, a little more trusting. His ribs were still visible, but his eyes slowly began to change. They no longer looked so hollow. They began to carry a glimmer of hope. One night, as I sat on the curb while he ate, I realized something. This wasn't just about feeding a hungry dog. It was about something much greater. It was about patience. It was about kindness. It was about learning to see beyond ourselves and realizing that sometimes the smallest act of compassion can change not only the life of another, but also our own. As weeks passed, he started following me home. At first, he would stop a few feet away, as if unsure if he was allowed. Then, one day, he simply walked through my gate and sat by my front door. That was the moment I knew he had chosen me. Or maybe I had chosen him. Either way, we both found something we didn't know we needed. I named him Chance, because in many ways, that's what he was, a chance for me to be better, to give more, to live with a deeper sense of gratitude. And he, in turn, was given a chance to live, to love, to trust again. Looking back now, I realize how many times I've been like that hungry dog searching for scraps of hope in the wrong places, feeling unseen and forgotten. But life has a way of sending us exactly what we need, sometimes in the form of a stray dog on a lonely street. Chance taught me that gratitude doesn't always come from abundance. Sometimes, it comes from the simple fact that someone cared enough to stop, to see you, to share what little they had. And in that exchange, both lives are transformed. To anyone who feels broken, forgotten, or starving for something more in life, remember this: hope comes in small pieces, sometimes in the form of a sandwich, sometimes in the form of a stranger who chooses kindness, and sometimes in the form of a hungry dog who just needed one person to believe in him. I didn't just save Chance. In many ways, he saved me. And that, to me, is the greatest life lesson of all.